What's good, y'all? It's your boy Tony the Savant back with another one. Shout out to the BCE, the SCE, my boy Mello, that's the president. Shout out to my boy Jeezy, that's the manager. Shout out to my cousin Hawk. Thank you, cuz. She's been supporting since day one. I love that and I love you. Let's get into the meat and potatoes, man. I'm watching It Is What It Is the other day. I think that's I think that's what Cameron and Mace's podcast is called. Anyway, I'm really enjoying it. You know what I'm saying? I'm just getting into it. And really enjoying the content. I've been hearing a lot about it. I've seen their clips. I've had people send me stuff that they have done before. But it was yesterday or the day before when I first tapped into to see what's going on. You know what I mean? See what all the hype was about. And Cameron opened up the segment with pretty much a new media rant. You know what I mean? And I kind of he inspired me to even make this video because I thought it was very interesting and I supported everything he said, essentially. You know what I mean? So what he was talking about is how people are really upset at Cameron and Mace that they are gaining as much popularity as they're getting. And it's basically just these old media dudes, you know what I mean? And I think I seen Chris Broussard. Now, Chris Broussard, man, I got one or two videos on this guy, man, and I like to shoot Bruce some bail as far as him being one of the mainstream guys on TV right now that I do enjoy watching. Like 80% of the stuff that Broussard says, I agree with. Unless he starts just bending facts or starts capping for LeBron. Broussard is pretty usually on point with his takes. But he does have this arrogance, this disdain for guys like me and guys like Cameron and Mace. Dudes that don't have a degree in journalism or credentials, quote unquote. I guess he must have forgot that freedom of press is in the Constitution, so it don't matter who you are or what you're doing. And this is a shout out to people out there. If you don't feel like you have a voice, you definitely do. If you have a constitutional right to a voice, nonetheless, these mainstream dudes are upset about it. And Cameron came up with a good. He had a good little. It was a Cameron. It was, if y'all know how Cameron is, it was, in his voice and his tone and his aggressiveness. But I do agree with every word he was saying as far as, these dudes are mad that we here, man. They mad that we the new source. We just seen ESPN lay off a number of guys that's been on TV for years, decades. And for the most part, we're going to probably see these guys pop up on YouTube with a channel, with a podcast. Much like Stephen A. Smith, although he's still employed with ESPN and on their broadcast networks. Stephen A. Smith is on YouTube, man. Skip Bayless is on YouTube. Why are these guys doing what we're doing if what they're doing is so successful? I tell you what. Nobody's watching the mainstream dudes on TV no more. All they do is cap. They've been called out. They're driven by narratives. They don't care so much about these athletes like we do. They don't care so much about the level of competition like we do. And they dang for sure don't care about half these players. I say most of them, none of them care about any of the players. Probably outside of LeBron James, who's probably paying these guys. We've already seen. Nick Wright has been exposed. He is on Clutch Sports payroll. You know what I mean? So is Nick Wright saying does he say what he say about LeBron because he actually believes those things? Or does he say what he say about LeBron because LeBron's sending them free tickets to Lakers games, buying them shoes, paying, of course, putting money in his pocket? So, it's that whole system where you got guys like me or Cameron and Mace or, guys on YouTube who are just watching the games, and popping on their phones or their laptops and telling it like it is, and then we're not running around talking about, this guy, he shot 6 for 28, but he shoots 22% on 3-pointers and mid. Like, come on, man, we ain't trying to hear that, bro. Like Cameron said, like once the real ones, once we watch the game, we popping on our phones and we talking about, nah, that cat shot a bunch of air balls. That dude, you know what I'm saying, 6 turnovers. You know, it was bad. It was horrible. The team won. Yeah, he got 30 points on 28 shots. But it was a horrible performance, and we're not finna do the cap. You know, we're not finna try to save him because, you know, whatever. He's a big name or whatever the case. So, that's really much what's happening, and I wanted to chime in on this new media, you know, because I remember Draymond saying that a couple years back, and I really didn't understand. You know, I didn't understand what he was saying or really what that was. Especially that was much way before me starting this channel, or even me just starting my journalism career. But the new media is the dudes that get on here, talk to the people. Don't have no agendas, don't have no big corporations in our back pockets telling us, you know, what to say. If not what to say, then how to say it. We don't have any agendas, you know what I mean? All we have is a love for the game, a love for the sport, you know what I mean? Just sports in general, you know, just the love for competition. And when we get off our 9 to 5s and we put our kids to sleep, and, you know, we get a little time away just to kind of, you know, zone in and do our podcast, listen to our podcast and all that stuff. We don't want to be bombarded with a bunch of propaganda, narratives, and cap. That's all it is. This is why the new media movement has started and it has been taking off, you know, forever since. You know what I mean? I honestly see in clear details what Draymond was talking about now. You know, especially since I got into the fight, since I got into the mix, I'm really seeing like, oh man, these dudes, they're scared of us. They are literally scared of us. They don't know what to do, where to go. You know, they don't necessarily want to jump on YouTube and all that kind of stuff, or do it. You know, they don't want to do their own thing because they've been comfortable for years having this big corporation backing them up and, you know, pretty much doing their dirty work for them. You know what I mean? Like, we got to get up here. We got to do the editing. We got to do the marketing, share the video and all that kind of stuff. We don't have a big corporation with billions of dollars behind us doing that work for us. Like, that's a lot of hard work, you know? So nonetheless, you know what I mean? I got in just, you know, listening to, who was I just talking about? Cameron and Mace. Cam went on his rant and he was just saying the same things. Like, the mainstream dudes are really upset at Cam and Mace because they doing what they doing and they taking off. And all these years, I mean, not all these years, all this time since that Draymond Green punch happened, all this time since Draymond Green and Jordan Poole had their incident, nobody knew what happened. We only know what happened and got some inside information because of Cameron. He broke that story, you know what I mean, about Jordan Poole saying that stuff that he was saying, talking about he was hitting more girls at Michigan State than Draymond and all this crazy stuff. He ain't got no, why your name Money Green and you ain't got, and you broke. Like, that's funny, bro. That's funny. I ain't gonna lie, man. That made me respect Jordan Poole a little bit more because Draymond is a loudmouth dude. So if you ever to talk back to Draymond, I'm pretty sure you got, you know what I'm saying, some cojones about you. You feel me? Although he did take that punch. Anyway, I do agree with what Draymond was saying, 100%. New media is the movement. They are very, very afraid of us. They don't know what to do with us. And we just got to keep the pressure on them, man. You know, we got to keep that pressure on them. And shout out to the Cameron and Mace. You know what I'm saying? It is what it is. That's a very dope podcast. They said it on air. They own that thing. Ain't nobody firing them or nothing like that. I respect that. So I respect that more so than these ESPNs and these FS1s where, I mean, I ain't gonna lie, I made a video about it. ESPN fired everybody that's worth watching for me. I ain't watching ESPN for Malik Andrews or what's that dude, Kendrick Perkins, and whoever else they got up there. I don't care. I really don't care. You know what I mean? Everybody that I was interested in, if Jalen Rose was talking some basketball, I would listen. You know what I mean? If Jeff Van Gundy was talking some sports, I would listen. You know what I'm saying? If Max Kellerman was talking boxing and boxing only, I like Max when he's talking boxing. I don't like Max when he's talking about Terrence Bud Crawford because then he gets into his cat bag. But I'm not listening to Malik Andrews and Kendrick Perkins go back and forth about whatever they talking about at this point. And if I want to listen to Stephen A, he got the YouTube podcast. He out here with us in the YouTube streets. So, but nonetheless, that's just my little 2 cents on that one. It's your boy Tony the Savant. Please like, subscribe, comment, share, hit the notification bell so you can be notified when I'm dropping content on this channel, man. I'm just putting in the work. Y'all the bosses. I'm not a player. I'm not a coach. I'm a savant. Salute.